All right, that should get me straight right there. All right, so somebody back in the chat, do me a favor. Let me know in the chat you can see me, you can hear me, we good. All right, that was my fault. I started moving stuff from here. Sankofa, what up? What up? What up? We good? All right, appreciate it, King 87. All right, man. So let me take this off because that echo was loud. All right, so give it a minute to let it fill up a little bit here. I totally messed that last one. All right, just give me a second, y'all. Letting it fill up. All right, so all right, cool. So we good. All right, so today, this afternoon rather, I wanted to get in this joint dealing with Venus, the law of rhythm. You know what I mean? Venus is a planet that has been observed in this science that deals with cooperation and love and money and females and beauty and the arts and entertainments. So, excuse me, what we do is we take a stance that the ancients observe that each cosmic body in the sky, sun, moon, within our local solar system, sun, moon, Mars, Jupiter, all the way out to Pluto, these energies represent distinct areas in our lives, different personality types per se. And again, I have to pay homage to the Greek mythology in a sense because they took cosmic principles and they styled them as personalities. You know what I'm saying? To give it some flavor, to give it some spunk. And that was pretty dope because then we start to see this drama, this story plays out. And not that any other cultures didn't do it, Egyptians and so forth, Sumerians and whatnot. But it's a known fact when you look at Jupiter is Zeus, and they just flat out tell you this. You know what I'm saying? And then it's a direct mythology that's to that. So Venus is a very, very interesting principle and is really the most prominent one that happens in our lives because it's love and finances. I know through consulting for years how your love life and your money are like before your children. In fact, your children come after the fact that you have experienced so-called love, right? And of course, you have to, monetarily wise, you have to take care of them. So they really come before that. Well, vice versa. Well, they come before that, meaning your money and your relationships come before children. Now, since Venus deals with cooperation, it deals with partnerships. The reason that I'm calling this, and it literally a key word for Venus is rhythm, then we have to understand that rhythm is the pendulum swings 10 inches to the right, it's going to swing 10 inches to the left. And as it loses momentum, which is very interesting, as it loses momentum and swings 8 feet to the right, it's going to swing 8 feet to the left, and then 6 and 6, and then 5 and 5, and 4 and 4, and ultimately it is staying still. So rhythm means there is a pattern. Once you can determine the cadence, the rhythm, this is very, very important, because this allows you to shift gears. Very important to understand. Majority of us have been in, if not all of us, have been in horrible relationships, because Venus is indeed relationships. That's a fact, right? All right. Hold on, y'all. 1 second. All right. So a lot of us have been in horrible relationships by choice. This choice is you consciously making a decision to be with this person. So it's not the person's fault. It is a reflection of our own decision-making process, at least. Okay, and really at best. So we choose to allow partnerships to come into our life, whether they're friendships, whether they're love unions, or whatever. And so the position of Venus, especially for men, when born, meaning where is it at in the sky? What constellation is it in? Not only what zodiac sign is it in, what area of space is it in? Is it in the south? Is it in the west? Is it in the east? Is it in the north? What portion, known in astrology as house, is Venus in, for us to grab direct insight into the psychology of what a man or masculine energy, young MA, right, is looking for within a woman. Women, you should really study. Here's $1,000 worth of game. You should really study the position of Venus inside of the masculine energy that you're looking at, or the man that you want to be with. You should really study the position of Venus, because it will start to give you direct insight into the man's psychology and what he is looking for as it pertains to beauty in women, harmony, marriage, relationships, cooperation, love, and those good things, even money. Okay. And so rhythm is very important. I'm a racer, motorcycles, cars. I like to race, right? And so when you look at a car, the average person drives automatics. They don't know how to drive a stick. They don't know how to put this thing in manual, and they drive automatics. And this is very interesting on the psychology. All right. Very interesting on the psychology. Because think about this, man. This really gives insight into your psychology, if you can drive a stick or not. And most cars nowadays are smart, so they go both stick and manual. When you're driving an automatic, of course you want to automatically get there, and you don't want to think. And when you don't want to think, that is subconscious programs that's running, because it's inside of your body. The subconscious program, one that tell you to blink your eye. Let's put some more water there. Oh, it's time to urinate, or you're hungry. Let's sweat. You're not consciously telling yourself to do these things, right? So when you're driving on automatic, that is the subconscious. You're just flowing with the program. You're literally flowing to what the car is programmed to do. You're not consciously awake when you're driving automatic. When you put the car in manual, the transmission does not shift to the next gear unless you tell it to. So a lot of you do not understand that one thing on the dashboard called RPMs. You just look at, oh shit, the speed limit and my gas is cool and my temperature is cool. But there's a whole nother graph of information that's there that you pay absolutely no attention to because you're within the subconscious realm of the program. You're not a god yet, not in driving. Okay. So the RPMs is there to give you the rhythm. So you can hear the car when in drive, even if you're in automatic, you can hear the car when it stops and it's like it's humming at its capacity, and then it shifts to another gear. So it's the motorcycle that you hear that goes through these gears, right? And you get to control that process based upon the pressure that you put on the pedal. And as a racer, I am telling you that people slow down when they go around the corners. But in the stick shift, you downshift. And when you downshift, you're now in the maximum speed of that gear that you just shifted in, and your RPMs is at the top. And you can actually accelerate as you go around the corner because you're using the transmission as a brake versus you putting your physical foot on the brake to slow the car down. I'm talking some race stuff to you here. This is facts, though. Okay. So rhythm is important because once you can establish rhythm, the pattern, you now can make a prediction. Oh, yes. This is where it gets good. Because when you can make a prediction like a scientist and say, this is going to happen, and it happens, then by theory, you should be able to change the outcome because you know what is going to happen and when it is going to happen. Very important. So it's interesting that relationships are the planetary cosmic energy of relationships. Venus, a key word for it is rhythm. Well, this is one of the ancient laws. Remember those laws? All this mental correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender, those type of things, right? So what we have to understand within the law of rhythm is the actions, the activity that we exude out and that we do creates a ripple effect of cause and effect, right? So now when you are creating cause and effect based upon your action and you do it over and over and over again, your actions go out into space, into ether, like a wave of energy that you will see, just like that rock that you throw in the pond goes bloop, and then all these ripple effects go out. And then they disseminate. Okay? What's not really shown to a degree is the energy coming back towards you. But it is because when you throw the rock in the pond, bloop, there's a circular energy of waves that go out in each direction, which means there's actually waves coming back towards you. Yes? Yeah, it is. I study nature. You throw a rock in the pond, it goes bloop. A circular ring happens of waves that go out, which means there's a wave of energy coming back towards yourself. So each action creates a reaction. Real simple. Each action creates a reaction. Yes. Daria from Egypt in Arabic. Can you tell me what this is? Tell me what this is right here. What does that say in English terms? We know what this is. What's this? All right. Give me that if you know that, please. So each action creates a reaction. Cool. Well, if you keep on doing bloop, 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 you keep on doing this action, it starts to take on a rhythm of its own. So what has to be understood here is all of our good days and bad days. Thank you. So all of our good days and bad days is recorded in space, and they will start to create a rhythm of their own. So let me make it plain, because I hit on this yesterday. When you have a good day or a bad day, this energy is recorded in space. And all it takes is a familiar pattern of the cosmic energies, planets, to come in this region of space or mirror the alignment of your bad day or good day, and it's going to send a cosmic wave of energy to you. That's just a wave. We cannot deny this wave because all of you can hear me all over the earth in different locations. Sound waves. You hear my voice. Internet waves. You see me in signal. So we got microwaves, we got radio waves, we got sound waves, we got all type of waves. You see me, that's visual waves of light waves. We have all type of waves of energy that is around us. We got cell phones by us right now, so they go a cell phone, right? They go. So we got all kind of waves around us right now as we speak. This is how we're able to bridge this, what we call distance, and hear each other and commute with each other, or talk to each other in real time. I am telling you, there's cosmic waves based off planetary energies. How can it not be when a planet is a ball of energy, is made up of matter and chemicals, and it is moving? And anything that moves, motion is energy in of itself. So if a planet is moving, that motion, that wind tunnel of effect, here comes a wave of energy. So quantum physics said, listen, everything exists inside of the wave first. This is the realm of infinite potential, when everything exists as this invisible wave of energy. So it's not hard to understand this. So our emotions, our energies, our reactions, everything is a we send in and out is a cause. So now it's recorded in space. A planet comes on this day that you have a boo-boo in the same area of space, and next thing you know, this wave of energy is now communicating back. Okay? So then this wave of energy is really giving us a suggestion. Okay. No. Okay. See, this is the thing. It's not, don't let that be frustrating to you. So you say it's frustrating when I have a thought about a subject, and then the very next day / moment, someone else is sharing the same thought. What if you're having the thought as a premonition of what you're about to see in the next moment, which means you're transcending space and time because you see it, quote unquote, after the fact. So what if two things? You're having a premonition moment that's transcending space and time. And what if you're actually sending that person a thought for them to say it the next day, only to validate what you thinking is indeed the truth, whatever that may be, according to how you see it. So don't get frustrated by that. You starting to pick up on that conversation we had yesterday, the last dimension, which is transcendental consciousness. Don't get frustrated by that. That's a great gift and vision. All right. Right. So this is the induction, right? So the key here is, if you're really studious, and I mean, God damn it, you're gonna have to be really studious to what I'm about to say to this right here. In order to figure out rhythm, you must have a calendar, a diary, a journal. Because that means that because you got to determine it. You got to determine how many red days are you having? How many bad days are you having? How many great days are you having? You know, your ego won't even allow you to do this successfully for 60 days straight. I bet you would miss a day. It's just the nature of it. If you whip out a calendar and you just color code it, red meaning pissed off, angry day, green was a good money day, blue was I'm all right, whatever, however you want to code it, and just simply mark the day with a color. That's all you got to do, is just mark it. You ain't got to get no explanation. Just mark it in color wise and see if you can go a consistent 60 days to see if you can develop a pattern from month to month. Test this in relationships. Now, here's the kicker. A lot of us have been in relationships where we have too many negative days than positive days. And when we try to have a positive day, it gets overshadowed by this unforeseen negative day, because we have defiled space so much with negative energy that is damn near impossible to reverse the process. But if you can track the rhythm and you have a foreknowledge of when a negative day can occur, then the true alchemy and the true test becomes on you changing the polarity. In order for you to change that hot ass water that you can't step into, you put the opposite side of the energy, cold water, in the tub. That's what you do. You go to the extreme. So if you can determine the rhythm, and you know that I'm having Mars conjunct my moon, and the moon represents a woman, and this represents Mars as anger and a fight, and I know the roundabouts of when that's going to occur, which can be measured, then I know that within this timeline, I must introduce the opposite. I must do something within this timeline that is complete opposite, so I can program this area of space. This is very important shit, man. Because if I tell you that you can be in an accident or you will be in an argument, in a fight on this day, and you do, then you best understand that that day in this area of space has now logged this event as negative in space. And it becomes up to you to change that location's memory based off of your action. See, this is why a lot of us do not have the momentum We have a couple lucky days, good days, then we have all these goddamn bad days, and we just seesaw back and forth, back and forth. Man, you gotta set a current, a track record, repetition over and over and over again to build momentum. Momentum is an overflow of a certain energy. And I keep saying it, DJ Khaled is showing you happiness, love, living in that vein, following your true passions with no excuses. No, excuse my language, no motherfucking excuses to follow your motherfucking passion. Fuck that. What the fuck I gotta be apologetic for to follow my happiness? Why I gotta tippy toe? And I know from experience, scared because I don't want to fuck up the family dynamic. Can we have real talk today? Because I'm only talking to certain people. Can we have it? I don't want to mess up the family dynamic of certain thoughts that I'm having. Society may tell me I shouldn't. Or maybe I don't want to repeat the episode of my daddy and my mama. So I may do something. Hold on. I don't know. Perhaps. Right? All this shit be going on. But one thing's clear. You know what you want. Oh, you know. Everybody know. I ain't buying that you don't know. You know. Everybody know. What happens is you don't know how to attain it. And that's a different conversation. The how is like the bridge. You see, the goal is way over there. And you got to build a bridge to get to that shit. So we know what we want. It's how we going to get to it is what bothers us, because that's a major challenge. Right? But we know. Oh, we know. Everybody was given that gift, you know. Somewhere along the line, we possibly gave up. So if you can determine the rhythm, and we can, you can determine the rhythm, then you should be able to change its vibration. You should be able to change its polarity, because you have a foreknowledge of an event before it occurs. This is what makes the game fun, because you get to see the only way you ever gonna know and be tested in this thing is to be tested. Like shit, you like, man, listen, the meditation and all that shit, that's practice. It is said from the Hermetic standpoint that you will be tested greatly from nature to determine what your spiritual quality is. The moment that you sign up to go through the initiation of self-discovery and self-mastery, you are going to send out a signal to come and test you to see if you're going to live up to that truth. And it's only within the moment of the test that you can define if you're going to win the game or lose the game. Are you going to give up because this person said no? Are you going to give up because it's too tough right here and you don't want to bear through it? I remember the first time and only time that I was incarcerated. Well, no, that technically, prison incarceration, shall I say, county jail time, in and out shit, that ain't shit. I ain't counting that. 90 days boot camp, right? You get 90 days boot camp. So you got drill instructors blowing this goddamn horn 5 o'clock in the morning. You sleep and all you hear, you got to jump out your motherfucking bed, and I'm on a top bunk. You got to jump out your fucking bed, grab your motherfucking ID, because they got to do a fucking count, roll call to make sure ain't nobody escape overnight. So we grabbing motherfucking IDs and shit, and the motherfucking pod next to you is counting. The room next to you is counting. Sir, 1, sir. Sir, 2, sir. And when you hear silence over there, you know they about to come to your room. As soon as that drill instructor step on deck, whoever's the first one on the deck, which was me, had to say, sir, 5, sir. Jump your ass out of bed, grab your ID, put that shit right here, locked and loaded, just like this. ID up under your goddamn chin. Count off, motherfucker. Sir, 5, sir. That's just what it is, right? So that situation, and I'm telling you, I learned a lot of shit from that situation. Action becomes the key. Action literally becomes the key. I seen people quit. You sentenced to 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Since it wasn't a violent crime, a lot of us dope boys, it wasn't a violent crime. Go through this process, 90 days, and you back in the halfway house. Go through the halfway house, 30 days, get your ass back home, nigga. People quitting and rather go serve time on the hill, as we called it. Years. Because they can't endure 90 days of a motherfucker in your face talking shit and pushing your body to the limit. Because you a coward, man. I'm just telling you, I seen it with my own eyes. Quitting. You eligible for 90 days boot camp. You got 5 years. I had 2. I ain't about to go do 2 because I'm quitting in 90 days. You crazy. On my very first day, country white boy said my name. He called my last name and I couldn't hear him correctly. So he thought I was being funny when he had to repeat my name and to show a lesson to the new group of people. This motherfucker picked me up and body slammed me. Boom! My very first day. Big motherfucker. Hicks. Sergeant Hicks. Never forget this motherfucker. Okay. I'm taking that too. Every day I used to have one dude come, black dude come. And the motherfucker, because you got to stand in attention when they come. Bam! Just give it to me. I see the light and told me, I see the light in you. Bam! We gonna make you fold. Nah, nigga, you ain't making me fold. It ain't happening. It's not happening. I seen people quit and rather go serve time. So what am I talking about today? Rhythm. When is it okay to abort the mission? When is it ever okay to abort the mission, man? I ain't talking about the mission of your goals. I'm talking about Venus, cooperation, partnership. Things change all the time. We've been in relationships where you can't even set a financial goal. Like when does this madness stop? That you in relationships for eons, for years, and we don't even have a financial goal set for ourselves. Mainly because as an individual, clearly you don't have a financial goal. And that's where it starts with. It starts with yourself. So Venus really is really a mirror of you and your partner. Don't blame nobody else. This is about you. What is your goal? The reason why the unit doesn't have a goal is because you don't have a goal. The moment that we have a goal as individuals, then those around us will have a goal. And if those around us don't want to have a goal, then shame on us for continuing to be around those who don't want to have a goal. Seriously. See, that's the part where you have to make the shift right there. And I know that's tough. Oh, that's tough. Trust me, I know it from experience. That's tough. That's very tough. So when you look at Venus, where its position starts to give you direct insight into what is this person's psychology as it pertains to balance and harmony, love and relationships in our lives. Where is it at? Now, I got Venus considered to be out of pocket in Aries. She at the top in the crown position. She's at the very top, high portion of the highest portion in the sky. Actually, she's ascending. She's going towards the highest point of the sky. So she's rising and is the crowning point for me. But position-wise, she's in Aries, which is considered to be detriment. Venus don't belong in. It's furthest. It's at its furthest away from home at this point when it rules Libra. If it's in Aries, it's out of pocket. So what do that mean? Do it mean that you will have unsuccessful relationships? That's a possibility. Aries says, man, listen, I'm passionate. I'm head first. This is when I started studying myself. I noticed a pattern based off this. Whoa. Majority of the women in my life have been fire qualities. Sagittarius and Leos. And even the Aries. Second baby mama Aries. What a coincidence. And then I started looking a little deeper. Then it was the air energy. Like, oh, okay. It was what I would call masculine energy with women. Simply meaning mental activity, go-getters, move around a little bit. Don't be stay-at-home mom type thing. That really wasn't my forte on the energetic level of what I was attracting. Right? So Venus and Aries for me is considered out of pocket. And it's in opposition to Pluto, which means, okay, not only is it out of pocket, then you may go through some type of intense relationship that's going to force transmutation. But Aries is passionate, head first. So what I can jump in head first because Aries is not afraid. We often talk about this a lot in the specs when you understand these energies. Well, I'll jump in. I ain't afraid. I'm not afraid. Oh man, I'm not afraid to go. I ain't afraid. Once I size it up and I think I got a good size on it, I'm going. And I'm not going to retreat from it. I'm going. So understand your Venus placement when you were born so you can get direct insight into what is it that I'm looking for harmony and balance in my life. Very important to understand that. Very important to understand that. Venus also represents victory. It does. It represents victory. It represents through cooperation, you get things done. This is why it is able to enjoy all of its other characteristics. Fine art, food, taste. It's like going to the fashion show. It's extracurricular activities of joy and pleasure is a key word, right? So you really get to enjoy these things. You get to enjoy life based upon where this energy is at. So then it's no longer a detriment for me because Venus and Aries in the 10th means, oh, ambition. Women that's ambitious rather, career orientated. Like that's that flair. That's sass, as we call it. That's sauce, right? That ain't afraid to go get yours. You see what I'm saying? None of this stuff is a detriment when you understand it and you start working on it. And the only thing you got to do is be true to yourself. So here's the key, and then we can take some questions on this. This information and pretty much all self-help information, right, We got to be careful that we are not tricking ourselves to act like we are busy so we can ignore the fact that we need to take action. I want to be very clear on that. Oftentimes, we believe in the rare, because it happens. We believe in the rare, magical, abracadabra that if I do XYZ, my life should change just by mere thinking, but no action. Let me tell you something. The action part is a reflection of what you're really thinking. You ain't thinking about abundance if you ain't trying to have no physical action to go get it. You think sitting down for 10 minutes a day, because I know you ain't doing an hour. You ain't gonna fool me on that shit. You think sitting down for 3 minutes a day, 30 seconds a day, 10 minutes a day, you ain't even doing an hour of visualizing is going to bring about the drastic change that you need all by yourself without you absolutely not living in accordance to that which you're visualizing? You're lying. Dr. Joe Dispenza shared a story with us where he was out in the state of Washington in his RV, and he's pondering this quantum field so heavy that he's thinking about the bread in the truck and the wine that he has. And as he's thinking about the bread, all of a sudden he hears something go bloop, and he looks down, and it's a freaking loaf of bread that had literally fell out of the damn sky in front of him. That shit is real. It's very real. We got nothing but miraculous case studies to show this phenomenon. I know that we will substitute creating a physical life to mirror what we say we're projecting. Okay? We will literally divorce ourselves from not living a physical life or pursuing of what we're projecting in substitute of just simply trying to project it and hoping that that projection is going to change our life with no action. And it don't work that way. When you listen to the story of Neville Goddard's brother, who constantly went to look in front of this shop and visualize his name on the sign for 2 years straight. 2 years. You ain't even doing 10 minutes a day. 2 years straight visualizing this. In the second year, a man comes out and basically say, would you like to own it? I don't have no money. Who said you needed money? I know your family. I know you're a good person. I'll give it to you and you just pay me a payment. And then got it that way. These things happen. But you must be consistent in walking the path of showing up at the place every single day and not just sitting there at home. He wasn't at home visualizing. He was at the location, physically showing up at the place that was in his mind. He's walking it out. So when we put the video up of Brother Rob Bay, who was told he lost a contract with the city of Chicago. He didn't win that bid, but he kept persisting anyway. After the fact that the city of Chicago gave it to somebody else because he only lost it by a few points, all of a sudden the city of Chicago say, hey, man, we found a discrepancy with that person. We're going to award you the contract. And they gave him the contract. Why? Because he had a vehicle that he goes to every single day. And within that vehicle, the vision board lies within the office of that vehicle. He's marrying the physical with the spiritual. Very important to understand that. Venus, cooperation, the law of rhythm, is telling you one is spiritual invisible. It ain't really spiritual invisible. Its cause is a physical action that took place. Effect is the explanation of a previous action that, since it was in the past, you don't know that that's the shit that did it. So the effect appears to be, or the cause appears to be, invisible, because it's some shit that happened from the past. The old school saying, what goes around comes around. Okay? So you can find the rhythm. You have to define what your energy is going to be. And one thing that you should do and be honest with this thing is, you know, when you bullshit and call yourself out on it, when you in the moment, I know I should be doing X, Y, Z, but I'm going to go play the game. I know I got some emails to send out. I know that there are some people dependent upon me for some information, but I'm about to go upstairs and play the PlayStation 2, and I'm about to play 2K because I want to be Michael Jordan in the 95-96 Bulls, and I want to be Mike and bust somebody's ass real fast. I know when I'm doing it if I do it. Like, cut the bullshit, man. You know when you bullshitting, right? So if you know when you bullshitting, then you need to be honest with yourself, and at that point, and just call it for what it is. I love misery and I love fucking poverty. Say the shit. Don't be afraid to it, because if you're going to succumb to it in the moment, then just embrace your fucking misery and stop acting like you want to change that shit. Because if you want to change that shit, you change that shit. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. See, everybody keeps looking for the person to motivate you. You're looking for someone to say some compelling shit to get you to turn the switch on. Since you know you want to turn the switch on, turn the fucking switch on. How about that? Because you know you want to turn it on. So turn it on. Now y'all see why I say, okay, this is why I stopped consulting for years. Like, nope, I ain't fucking with people. Because now, and I got to look at this shit carefully. Is it a reflection of me? I've been there. Is it still me? And then I'm looking at, I don't even want to fucking entertain your energy. I'm on to something else. I don't want to entertain your fucking excuses, because a part of me, I can recognize it from the past. It ain't currently me, but I've been there and done that. I don't want to hear all these different possibilities and probabilities of what if this and you fail. Get out of here with that. That happens. But when you understand the Venetian principle, this is when you become whole. This is when you become one. This is when you really become complete. Right here. When you understand what it is. When you understand what teamwork looks like. And this comes in different forms. Like me and Jew relationship is like fucking A1. Right? It's like, we want to talk about cause and effect. We talk about this shit literally. All of our conversation, 90% of it is definitely in the realm of cause and effect. Even if we're talking about raggedy ass conspiracy theorists, because they don't know that attention that's being put on that shit is creating the next event. Literally. So this rule, this law applies to all of our endeavors and all of our relationships. You know what I mean? So we have to make a decision. Or where we going? Because we're going to set forth this law of rhythm. It's already set. You didn't already set it based off your actions, man. Now you got to nullify it. And see, here's the thing. This is why you got to be consistent with this thing. If you got -1 over here, you got to bring +1 to it just to make it 0. That's just 1 on the first round. Then you got to do it again, +1 again, to give it a positive charge. So depending on how many hiccups that you may have in this vicinity, you got every motherfucking August 25th, there's a fight. And it's been like this for the last 7 years. 1 year ain't gonna fix that shit right here. It ain't gonna do it. You got 15 recorded negatives right here. So 1 negative is now just gonna make it 14. Try again 14 more other times. If you paid attention to yesterday, I gave you the game on how to size that up. You see what I'm saying? And so the rhythm is set, and we are the ones that get to determine that. We are the ones that get to determine what the rhythm is going to be. And I'm telling you, nothing is, I ain't gonna say nothing. It's very gratifying when you have the ability to accurately, and that's the key, accurately forecast on this day around this particular time, this month around these particular 3 days, 2 days, I can expect X, Y, Z to happen. And now it becomes really fun because you watching for Satan to come on in, the adversary, the opposition to come on in. You waiting for the mood to change. You waiting for, the jump off. It's this energy that comes in because you got to understand everything was all good just a week ago. Now you got a little foreknowledge of when some shit can be bumpy. And then all of a sudden people's moods start changing. They just in the mood. You gotta really pay attention to that shit. Just in the mood. Why are you in the mood? And trust me, I'm a moody ass nigga. Cancerized, and I because I'm magnetic, I take on other people's energy. So now I get to succumb to people's moods and shit. So why are you in the mood? Because there's an energy that's permeating, that's making a suggestion that you should. And what it's doing is it's reinforcing memories from the past. And ain't got to be super duper past either, just from the past, that's going to validate your current state of dislike. The nigga cheated on me. I'm not happy. Don't spend enough time with me. Don't do XYZ. So now this your mindset, but it was all good just a week ago, as the rap say. Right? So now that you're watching that this energy can possibly come in and you see it shifting, that's the moment that you got to play alchemy. That's the moment when you got to say, hey, I'm doing something special today. We're going XYZ today. Let's go do something different. This is the day where you have to be spontaneous. That's when that Aquarius shit kick in. Totally unscripted and spontaneous. And now you got to rearrange the deck because you're equipped with the tool to be able to foretell what the rhythm is. All right. Very important. All right. So I'm going to be right back after this quick little break, and then we can take some questions. All right. Be right back. All right. So I'm gonna share a quick story with y'all real fast about my pops. He was on here. I had him on the channel the other day, and I'm definitely gonna set him up for the conversation to talk about his perception of how his kidneys went out based upon stress. And I put it in the book Spiritual Wisdom for the 21st Century. There's a book that me and the Prime Minister, Minister Jew, wrote, answering questions, a lot of questions on spirituality, karma, soulmates, and just great questions. It's on Amazon. It's called Spiritual Wisdom for the 21st Century, right? So in the book, I had talked about how my dad experienced infidelity with his wife, my mom. So my mom cheats on my dad. They divorced 1982. He was just over here last weekend, and I had him bring up the photo book so my children can see my baby pictures and stuff like that. And he literally still has pictures of him and my mom together, and you know, with the bow tie on and the damn male heels on, and like look like a prom type of thing. And he actually has the newspaper clipping of the divorce in 1982, when the public record in the newspaper said dissolutions of marriages. So he still holds on to this shit because he still has it, right? So Libra rules the kidneys. This is a fact. I'm telling you, this is a fact. You can go look it up right now. Medical astrology on Wikipedia is going to type up an old school name for it, mathematics. Libra rules the kidneys. So for him, my mom, and according to him, me, right, was a source of stress for him, so much that stress, which is the adrenal sits on top of the kidneys, went into a chronic state of stress where now his kidneys became the punching bag for his stress, which later results into dialysis, all based upon some shit that happened in the 80s. If we dealing with the initial divorce thing in the 80s, okay? And so this law is very real because these things will start to, your stresses, your dislikes, the things that you refuse to move on, that frustration is a mental thing, right? But that mental frequency is producing chemicals, and those chemicals will find a host within your body for it to store itself into. Okay. So the body becomes smart and it creates something called daughter cells, where it will replicate cells designed to take in stress on purpose, because the body realizes that you are in a chronic state of stress. And so these cells want stress juice, and they scream up to the brain, hey, feed me. You're not stressed. I need something to eat. So then the brain starts to think about the shit that happened to you in the past, called memories, and conjure up bad memories just so you can get the brain, hypothalamus and pituitary, to develop stress chemicals to dump in the bloodstream to feed these little demonic stress cells in your body. So when you're wondering why you can't get to the next level or you're stuck in a negative cycle, is because on the cellular level, honestly speaking, you have cellular stress cells that's sending a signal to your brain that wants to eat this shit, and you can't stop it. Your conscious powers has proven not to be enough to be able to do it. And so what you have to do, one of the ways that you can do, is you got to detox, man. And I'm not solely talking, I'm really not even talking about, I'm not talking about the food detox. I'm talking about the shit that is stressing you detox. That shit gotta go. It gotta go. Here's my last story, and I'm telling you the truth. I was helping a brother for some years, and I had a sty on my right eye. And the sty over my right eye was there for literally, I can remember having it for a couple years, right? The process of having that for a couple years, the moment that we stopped working together, within 2 weeks, that sty had totally disappeared and was gone. He even noticed it and said something to me about it, like, oh, I see that sty over your eyes gone. Yeah, because I'm no longer in a stressed out environment, and my perception, it was my right eye too, which is the masculine side. My perception of a person who I'm not seeing eye to eye, a masculine person who I'm not necessarily seeing eye to eye with, that's no longer a factor in my life, and that lump went away. We have to understand that diseases start. Have you ever pondered this shit? Diseases, like literally, let's really ponder this shit. Any disease. Either A, you brung in something foreign into your body and that created it, and your body had a horrible reaction to it, that created it. Or that shit starts within yourself already based off of some reaction, and it originates within yourself. Because you got to understand it when we're trying to trace it. Well, where did it come from? Especially when you're dealing with what they call STDs. Where did it come from? If it is strictly only on the sexual level. Because if he got it from her, then she got it from him. And then he got it from her, and then she got it from him. Where did it originate from? If it's purely only in its origin, it comes from sexual intercourse. Somewhere along the line, that shit happened within. And when I start looking at when you look at the number one killer in the world, heart disease, because this is Venus in love, then that's the number one issue for that is stress. And the number one issue for stress is money, which is Venus again. Right? Then how can money stress you out? We know how it can stress you out, but my point of money is it's an atom. It can't punch you. It can't run from you, although it seemed like it can. Right? It's physically not threatening you. So your perception of not having enough of it to do what you want to do creates stress. And then that creates the disease. So my point is, we got to really understand that our thoughts literally start to create disease. And these suffering ass relationships that we choose start to lodge itself in other areas in our life. Minister Jew calls it inconsistencies in our psychology. It's very important. I always love that term. Inconsistencies in our psychology. You say one thing, but you do another thing. What is that? What is that? What is that? So anyway, you got a question, man. Yeah, Mars on them adrenals for sure. Got a question. Now's the time. I just wanted to share this piece with y'all, that you have to understand that you set the law of rhythm in motion based upon your actions. The astroscience, I mean, it takes a, man, this shit takes an adept, meaning, yo, I'm disciplined enough to figure out what cosmic energy mean. Two, when you're born, I can figure it out. And then being able to look into a future time to be able to determine when XYZ is likely. That's a great tool to have, man. A great tool to know. Not out of pure curiosity, just because it's, you know, we in that age now where we're curious about a lot of shit, but where you can really apply it to make it make sense into your life. You know what I mean? Where you know, like, this is a no-no, so therefore I'm doing XYZ because this is a no-no. If you want to know, then for us, it is myastrologycoach.com, the shop tab, and you'll see a mentoring program on that aspect. Like, really know this shit for yourself. The greatest gift that I can give my daughter is really understanding this, and don't necessarily have to teach her this. Don't want to impress my will upon people, but knowing the law of attraction, where we have the agreement that I can approve of this relationship and show you why I approve and show you why I may disapprove of this relationship. Because I'm not going to be naive knowing certain placement is abusive, is potential abuse markers. So if you have a daughter or even a son, in a sense, you want your son to get married to a girl that can incite violence and they got violent energy and may hit on him and beat on him and cause him to respond and fight, or vice versa. A daughter who you like, oh shit, look like you will attract a man that will hit you if you even get into a fight. You got to know this shit, man. And this is what this science does, literally. All right, so you got a question. When your Venus is at the same exact degree as Chiron in your chart, would one use the lessons from wounds to change patterns? How would you see this energy? So Chiron, again, like I said yesterday, the verdict is out for me because I've seen two definitions and I've seen both of them apply. One is on the soulmate marker. Venus on Chiron from the soulmate marker suggests that you really want love, and love is going to be a healing thing for you. So even when we deal with Chiron as being a healing thing, then love is transformational for you and should offer some type of healing. I think it will be dope that your partner could automatically see the things where you need healing, the areas that you need healing in. The thing that we're missing in the Aquarian age is we don't become friends before we become lovers. I meet you out at the club. We exchange information. We start this courtship. I determine your rhythm and your pattern. That ain't no other nigga around like that. You determine ain't no woman around for me like that. You come over a few times. We finally have sex. We have sex on a regular basis. You got full access to the apartment. Now you get a key, and then you move in, and then you're pregnant. We never develop a true, genuine friendship. And I call this crown down loving, where we are attracted to each other based off of sexual energy because a person look good. So naturally, the first thing we want to do is have sexual intercourse in the sense of exchanging that energy. And we never come to find out like, oh shit, I don't like how this person thinks. This person does not think the way I think. Oh shit, we do not have the same spiritual values. Oh shit, I cannot pray with this person. Oh shit, I cannot even break out my vision board with this person. Like, so we missed the point of communicating from throat chakra energy, as we gonna use the chakras in the sense. We don't have the same spiritual vision, the sixth eye or the sixth chakra or third eye vision. Let alone are we gonna reach spiritual illumination together, right? Because we're not even having conversation. And in truth, we really don't even love each other. That's really the truth. We don't love each other. We have a tolerance from one another, but we don't sincerely love one another. And we're infatuated with the idea of what love could be like with one another. And based upon that idea, we say we love each other because we're already committed to each other. That's what's really happening. All right. And so we don't really have this heart connection with one another like that. We have the two lower connections with each other that is binding us and whatnot. So to answer your question, it would be dope if you had an authentic friendship in a relationship, and then based off that conversation, the assessment can be made like, oh, okay, I see where, relationships could be, very healing in this area for you, because Venus on Chiron suggests that relationships is a point of a wound, but it's also the point of strength where healing can take place for you. If we go with the wounded healer definition of Chiron, which is the most popular one. All right. So Venus and Taurus in the 11th house is dope because this suggests as a man, you're looking for a woman to be your friend because the 11th house is friends. So this is a perfect homie lover friend, and Taurus is values. Venus and Taurus is at home. So you're really looking for a woman who potentially financially got her shit together. She's a friend, and you are a perfect internet candidate for hooking up with people over the internet and stuff, because the 11th house is technology. So you probably be on those dating apps and shit. Tell the truth, Robert, tell the truth, Robert. Do you be on those dating apps? Tell the truth. Don't be embarrassed. Let's see if it's true. Do you be on dating apps? Are you sliding up in the DM, Rob? That Venus in the 11th, Rob, you sliding up in the DM, man. Tell the truth. I am not saying nothing to you. Tell the truth, nigga. Tell the truth. Do you be on that computer love Roger Troutman shit? Tell the truth. I know it when I see it, man. Tell the truth. I'm telling y'all, I ain't saying nothing to Robert. Tell the truth. We're going to make Robert testify today. Robert said he don't. All right, man, it's all good, though. But the 11th is friends, though, man. It's friends. It's a group of people. Technology. You know what I mean? But Venus in the 11th strongly suggests that, you know, friendship is the key. Definitely, friendship is the key. And they should have a financial acumen, man. Venus is at home in Taurus, so this is a strong placement. All right. General understanding of Mercury, Saturn meeting in Cancer. Yeah. All right. So Mercury is the messenger god, communication, and Saturn can represent restriction of that energy. And so Cancer is all about family values. It's all about, to a degree, it's really ancestors as well. I see this more of something that needs to be said with the father, because Saturn's energy represents father time. That's a key word for Saturn. So the position of Saturn and Saturn's nature tell us the insight of our fathers for most part. Mercury represents communication. So these two, and then Cancer is family. So what part of the family I'm talking to? Oh, I'm talking to the authoritative figure. Every now and then this could be mommy, but oftentimes it's really dad. And so there's some type of communication that really needs to take place with the parental energy right here, because your perception, Mercury is the mind, your perception of father could absolutely limit you and block you. And this needs to get straightened out. So, because Saturn represents success, this needs to get straightened out so success can flow. All right. All what we don't know is, for example, if Saturn or Mercury rules your second house, then that's your house of money. But your issue with your daddy is messing up your money, and you don't know that because those things look totally like they're not even connected whatsoever. You ain't talked to dad in a long ass time, and y'all live miles apart, and you know they're just not connected, but they are connected. And some of your financial frustrations is really related to the fact that the father relationship is not necessarily in place. If there's a good relationship there, then this is about you being very constructive, responsible with your words, and you may have something to say. You may have something to teach, because Mercury is a teacher. So you may have something that you absolutely have to say and teach and put some form to, because that's Saturn. So you can bring it out and share that information. On more of a soul level, the father could be a brother from the past life. And that could, if there's tension there, that could denote some of the tension as well, because Mercury is siblings, and then Cancer is family, and then Saturn is father. So it's all this family energy that's combined up in one. And it very well could be that y'all got a brotherly relationship from the spilling over into this one. But at the absolute most supreme point of it is, you are a very successful communicator. In the ideas that you have, you need to put form and structure to them, because you're not one of those people who can just live in la la land. It literally can become material. Mercury's idea, Saturn is material. So you put them two together, what you think, you manifest. Bingo. All right. So Venus and Jimmy in the first. So Venus and Gemini is a horror marker. Venus and Jimmy, Venus and Aquarius, man, Venus and Sag. Venus in Aries, and sometimes Scorpio. Scorpio can be strictly loyal, so sometimes they don't want to play that game. But Venus and Gemini and Aquarius is like, oh, this is different. All right. So Venus and Gemini in the first. This is very interesting. This is such an oxymoron. This is definitely to a degree, especially if you got red lines going to this thing, man. This is relationship karma. Venus wants to be in a relationship, but the first house wants to be focused on yourself. So either you put relationships first, right? And it's okay because I mean, Venus in the first house denotes that you put relationships first. Gemini is all about thinking outside the box and, you know, intellect, and it's very intellectual, very mental. So you need to have a smart woman if you're a man. Who was that to ask me that? Malcolm's okay. So you need to have a smart woman. Smart feminine energy, very intellectual feminine energy is very important, who also is a mirror of yourself, because the first house is self. Let's just put it right there. All right. So Venus and Gemini in the first house denotes that. Now, see, Gemini wants to have a little bit more air and freedom than the regular signs do. So this is not necessarily a clingy position. And please note that Venus is the absolute furthest place from relationships, because Venus belongs in the 7th house naturally. So she's way on the other side of the chart. And so you would be all right as long as you could think outside of the box. You may even have long distance relationships. And it's a possibility that you have Sagittarius on the 7th house cusp, which denotes that you may like women who are foreign, or there's some type of long distance type of relationship taking place. And that's perfectly fine, because this gives you some air to breathe, which is absolutely needed when you have Venus in Gemini. So she can live in her own place and you live in your own place and everything is all right. Venus is communication. So therefore, make up quality time. You can make up on FaceTime these days and time, man. But it's definitely wanting a woman who is intellectually bound, for sure. All right. So Venus conjunct Mars in the 5th house. That's dope. When Venus and Mars are together, this is the prince and the princess. Male and female energies. One of the factors of male and female energies are together. The 5th house is creativity, children, romance. So this is a very romantic placement right here, because Mars is always looking for Venus. So this is very, to a degree, this is great sexual magnetism that you can have naturally, because your male and female principles are together when you were born. What is that? Mars is just in the 5th house. So you want to be creative and have fun with it and whatnot. And it's very romantic. So I like this placement right here a lot, because it allows you to. So you got to remember, the 5th house is the house of pleasure. It's not necessarily the house of relationship. It's the house of romance, but it's not necessarily the house of relationships and marriage. That's the 7th. The 5th house, let's just go out on a date and have fun. It's not necessarily so serious, although it is. And it's interesting because the 5th house is associated with love, but it's fun and romance, and love is not necessarily marriage. So therefore, you can kind of play the dating game and be free. And it's totally up to you to use your creative directive power in that way. So I like that placement. Venus and Virgo suggests that you want a this is a partnership that's about work, because Virgo is about work, 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 work. It's Beyonce, Michael Jackson. So the harmony here is all about, relationships that has some type of worth ethnic. And then Virgo can also represent health and your personal hygiene. So you really should have a relationship that is health conscientious, at least clean. And this also can make you probably a clean freak as well. Probably got OCD or something and whatnot. Or your partner can have OCD and whatnot. But this is very good, but it's more of love that comes through sharing the passion through work, and it's your everyday job. So Venus and Virgo is associated with work and money, and your love life needs to be in harmony with that principle right there of work and money. All right. Venus and Jimmy in the 12th house, married to Venus and Aries in the 2nd house. All right. So it's interesting. Aries and Gemini both want freedom to a degree. But the sign placements from Gemini to Aries is air and fire. And since they're both four signs, we always say wants freedom: Gemini, Aries, Sag, and Aquarius. And so both of y'all having Venus here could have a very interesting placement where it's not as clingy and whatnot as traditional relationships could be and whatnot. But if they're kind of close to each other in the same degree, then this will be a sextile, which represents a very great opportunity. Your Venus in the 12th house is being more of a spiritual, imaginative type of energy, and his Venus in the second house is dealing more with money and finances. And so from the Hermetic standpoint, they give women the ability to be the masters of the mental field, and the man is the master of the physical field. So I see this as being a great opportunity for you two to indulge into learning how to blend imagination and love and goals through y'all union, and you serve as the spiritual conduit to transfer and empower his ability to accumulate finances. Sex magic, in a sense, right? And you're just that vessel, because y'all Venus are in positions where they get along with one another, and it's asking for opportunity and whatnot. Aries is passionate, which passion oftentimes is a Martian thing, which is a sexual thing in a sense, but it's in a position that deals with money, the second house. But the magical idea is 12th house magic, imagination, then Gemini intellect. If you can use that as a vehicle, y'all love and y'all imagination as it pertains to the goals financially, especially for him in a sense, then it can work some magical wonders for you too. All right, Venus in the fifth, again, Venus and Virgo in the fifth. Again, Venus and Virgo, everybody, is going to be, you love the work. Like you love, it's something about work that you love, and you need to find that, and your relationships need to be a reflection of that. The fifth house is just a house of fun and romance and speculation, gambling, casinos. It's just fun, man. The arts, going to see a Broadway play, going to whatever. It's very fun. It's date night. You know what I mean? The fifth house is date night and wants to have fun. So Venus in the fifth house for anybody, you don't want to lose that flair, because oftentimes in relationships they become dull. They start to submit to a certain routine, and it loses the flair of the dating phase that we had in the beginning. So Venus in the fifth always requires that flair to be there. So don't lose that flair. And if it's in Virgo, you can't, it has to pertain to your work too. So Venus in Virgo in the fifth, to me, how I see it for sure, is like you working and you doing your thing, especially if you're an entrepreneur. And it's like, yo, wait a minute, let's take a time out in the middle of the day, the kids at school, let's go make love, and then come back and get back to the drawing board on work. Work is sexy. It's a turn on. You see what I'm saying? So you have to marry that fifth house passion of creativity, love, and fun as it pertains to work. You see what I'm saying? Having that energy right there. That's good. I like that placement. All right. And so no, I don't change. Venus is would you say conjunction is also in Virgo. Does it change anything? No, I just hit Venus in Virgo. So you good, man. Did you say Sankofa? Wow, what you shared towards me, man. All plummets, man. Duly thanks. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. So Levon, my Venus opposes Uranus and Pluto. Oh shit, girl, you is a, can I say it? Super freak. No, I'm just playing. Potentially though, right? Because see, here's the thing. All right. So this is what you got to do. So your relationship's Venus in opposition to Uranus, the weirdo, totally unconventional, right? Pluto, sexual, secretive, even controlling and manipulative. That's definitely relationship karma for sure. That's some strenuous ass planets. Let me tell you something. I call it this. Uranus is uranium and Pluto is plutonium. Those are the elements that you make bombs with, okay? That's nothing to play with. So that being in opposition to Venus, your relationships are a bomb. Very volatile, very explosive. How you choose to enact or engage the explosion is totally up to you. Uranus demands that you have freedom of expression. So as long as a relationship is not being domineering and controlling Pluto, and it's outdated to your ideals and what your goals are in a relationship, Uranus won't act up and bring the rebellion. The part of you won't bring the rebellion and act out. So you may be an unconventional power lover when you have this. This could be, and I look at energy. I don't care. You can be into or have a fantasy about same sex energy. Whatever it is, be free to express your power of this different type of love that you bring. Um, on one level, it could just be, you like sex in public places, you like sex outdoors, just something unconventional, anything unconventional. So it can be unconventional on a little scale or unconventional on a big scale. So Levon, it's totally up to you to define. The key is don't have no suppressions. Don't let nobody to control you, and to be free, because this is definitely a classic marker that would suggest that suppression of such energy can cause you bodily harm from your own self. Just the mere thoughts alone can create disharmony and whatnot. So your partnerships need to think outside of the box here and whatnot. They need to allow you to be. Don't hurt me, Levon. I'm not talking to you. I'm just giving a hypothetical in a sense. They need to allow you to be a porn star and be happy with that, and they're okay with it. I'm not saying that you are that, but I'm just going to that extreme because you need that level of freedom. With those two gangster ass energies, Uranus and Pluto, will kill somebody. So this could be, Pluto is death, Venus is relationship, Uranus is chaos and accidents and sudden, like that nigga's crazy. So this is a relationship that turns crazy over you. So you got to be real, real careful. And a person must have a very thorough understanding of the energies that you exude, because you can attract in that negative quality of that opposition that represents the fight. All right. So Venus and Leo, I love Venus and Leo. That's my exaltation marker. Venus represents beauty and Leo is royalty. So I really love that placement right there. The first house is all about self. So it could be a selfish lover in a sense. Leo is very cocky in a sense. It's squaring your moon and Saturn and Taurus, which Venus and your moon in opposition to one another, your female principles are off. So what's happening is you got female karma, and that can come from your mom in a sense, what your relationship is with mommy, but your female dynamic is off, and one being in Taurus is messing with your money. So it's really imperative that you could find someone who could be fixed, because the common denominator between the square is energies that come in the same place of the season. So if Leo is the middle of the summer and Taurus is the middle of the spring, they both come in at the middle of the season. So this is called focus. So your relationships need to have a focus as it pertains to whatever the financial goal is and whatever the love goal is, because Leo could be the love and the romance part, but then Venus Venus is the portion that wants the relationship and Taurus is the portion that wants the money. So then this is about love and romance, and these things need to be bridged. A square is not bad, because I keep telling you, when you look at any building, if it's not a circular building in a dome, then when you look at the corner of any room, you're going to see a square. And so the square is needed to build foundation. The problem is oftentimes you see life on a vertical and they see life on a horizontal, and this creates issues. If we can understand that meeting point of the goal is indeed the meeting point, our goal is the meeting point, then hopefully we should be able to understand and transcend the negative way of seeing things differently, because we have the same goal. And then other markers start to complement one another in a sense, to pick up for some of that negative energy that's there. So you were born with negative female energy in being at odds with each other, which in return says you could attract a woman that's at odds with you. So you got to correct this placement within self. So in a sense, what is the relationship with mom? What is the relationship with feminine energy, and how you view it in a sense, right? So but goals, financial goals, and love, those two need to be clearly ironed out so that won't be a problem. And you can turn that square into a cornerstone because that's what squares are, the cornerstone, right? To build a foundation upon. That's how I see that one, man. Levon, did that make sense though? You gave me some love in there. I think that did make sense. Yeah, you're welcome, Gail. It's all good. So Venus trine Pluto, man, the trine represents easy access. Easy access. It's usually what happens is the elements are the same, right? So they share the same zodiacal element, usually on the average. So the trine here, Pluto wants the power, you know what I mean? So it's just easy to be, relationships should be very powerful for you and able to really push. I think Pluto is the only planet that can really rival the sun. And like it can give the sun a run for its money. That little thing is powerful as a mug. So this is a powerful relationship that people just see as dope. And but see, Pluto and Venus still oftentimes is still going to represent something that could be transformational. Oftentimes transformation comes through conflict, pain. And just because it's a trine don't mean that nigga won't get you. In fact, it's easier for the negative energies to get you. So you got to be real careful and never forget, never be fooled by the law of the angle. Just because if the angle is good don't mean that the bad can't happen and vice versa. Every planet has a duality. Therefore, in my awareness, I'm very, very, very cognizant of the fact that I know what the extreme positive is and I know what the extreme negative is. I'm not going to fool myself. I know exactly what this is. Now, I'm going to try my best to work the law of the angle to say this is supposed to be good. But without the law of the angle, I still want to experience a certain polarity within the energy. So this could be very powerful in transforming. And if it is a point of friction, you can potentially get over it. That's why it's a trine. All right. Oh, shoot. Levon and dominatrix. I like to lead my relationship. Dominatrix. Yeah, you got it, King 87. It's all good. Oh, so Venus conjunct the North Node. All right. All right. So Venus conjuncts the North Node. You were destined to find your soulmate in this lifetime, and you should so everly find that person. What degree and what sign is this in? Because your relationship is literally dependent, especially if it's within 4 degrees, because it's tight. Your relationship is dependent upon your North Node and soul's development, rather, is dependent upon a relationship to help you grow. Oh, snap. Leo in the 5th house. So what degrees is the North Node and what degree is Venus? Are they close to each other? That's the question. So if it squares the North Node, and then your soul's mission and your growth is going to be in a little bit of a challenge to that previous energy we discussed. Don't mean that it can't happen. Just means that it could be a challenge. The square, you both people have to understand that this is the cornerstone. So the square, how you say that, Naya? To me, I'm looking degrees of that. I want to build on that because I want to see if they close. But King's Chamber, that square is the foundation. So don't mean that it can't happen. Consciousness is going to have to dictate that, okay, this is the cornerstone, this is the goal. in order for soul's growth to determine itself, to grow. All right, so 10 and 6, they within 4 degrees, right? So cool. And so, and it's in the 5th, so that tells me you must be Aries rising or potentially Pisces rising. And so this is dope because Leo wants that love and that fun and that romance. Venus here wants the relationships to have fun and be romantic. Conjunct the North Node, then this relationship should push you to develop into your soul's mission. Your soul's mission in Leo on the 5th denotes that you're here to grow and to understand love, because your South Node is in Aquarius in the 11th, which says, oh, you did the Aquarian thing far as love and humanity and things like that. Which one is 10? Because if your South Node is 10, I want to meet you. Which one is 10? Is it Venus at 10 or is it the South Node at 10? Which one is at 10? Yeah, absolutely, Levon, for sure. You know, you want to be careful on that. I'll strangle you, girl, if I can't have you. Ooh, your South Node at 10. Ooh, wee. Ooh, wee. All right. So, all right. So you are here to, in the past, you did the Aquarian thing, which was all about humanity, and you possibly did the Aquarius thing so tough that you neglected love in children. So this go around is about putting some emphasis and balance on love in children, okay, and your own creativity too. So to a degree, it's more of a loving family type of vibe to a degree. All right. Not necessarily save the world first in a sense. All right. So it kind of depends on what some other factors there, because sometimes we cheat and we have, South Nodes in Aquarius. You still could have something in Aquarius, or you can have something in the 11th house, or you Aquarius, rather, whatever. It's things happen where you still get these cheat codes or remnants of the past that you can play out and try to blend with the North Node. But to answer your question, North Node in the 5th is all about growing into love, children, and your creativity. Don't necessarily create the humanitarian thing and say F the world this time. Kind of put some emphasis on your love life this go around. And especially with Venus conjunct the node, the right relationship will be very promising and help you towards your soul's growth. The North Node is considered the dragon's head. The dragon breathes fire. And sometimes this has really been noted as a malefic point, because it's a point that's forcing you to grow. It's not a good thing in a sense, right? And so give it some patience. But with Venus here, Venus and Jupiter usually offers protection and more of good energy. So you're blessed to have that there versus Saturn or Pluto conjunct the node. So this is more of a favorable outcome. You just have to attract the right type of energy to help develop that and whatnot. All right. And we're all connected in the past before for us to even be in these kind of dialogues. Trust me, the soul goes deep. That's why I was like, okay, what is that your South Node at 10 in Aquarius? Because I got the moon at 10 Aquarius and whatnot. So that's a direct hit when things like that happen. All right. All right. So my woman got Venus and Cap in the 12. Oh, that's why Rob was so quiet and said he don't be on that internet shit, because he got a woman. But no, my woman got Venus and Cap in the 12th, right? Man, Venus and Cap is all about that work. Our love structure and order, our love's career, our love's the person that's being responsible for it and whatnot. The 12th house becomes artistic and musical. 12th house don't really deal in physicality too much, man. Usually Venus in the 12th is a nice art. It's just an artistic expression. They like art. They like music, fine foods and stuff like that. It's something that's dealing with our artistic vision when you're dealing with that, man. So I didn't mean to blow your spot up, Rob, man, but I'm just messing, man. Yeah, but it's opposed Mars. So what you got in Mars? If I'm saying that right now, what's Mars is what degree Aquarius? Because you about to feel the pain, because Mars is about to come back in Aquarius on this retro's over. You gonna feel the pain. Mars gonna conjunct your South Node, and Mars gonna be in opposition to your Venus, and that's gonna represent potential fights in relationships. And then shit, that's gonna be fights in relationships potentially, right? And so I always tell my clients this, man. I send them a report. In my memberships, I send out these reports. I call them secondary reports that highlights this. If I see that Venus, Mars as non-Aquarius, god damn, girl. All right, so this is a time where you got to balance the relationship. So I send out this report that's like, hey, you got to balance relationships. So what I mean, if you're in a relationship, this is going to be the time where you are to go on a date and just kind of, you got to refresh it. You know what I'm saying? Get outside of the norm, show love and show appreciation, because Mars opposition is trying to bring in a ray of conflict. This is where the alchemy comes in, and knowing this, then you can't succumb to that negative thing, because that's going to be a fight. So this is a time where you want to you want to balance. If you're not in a relationship and new relationships are trying to get at you when it's Mars opposite Venus, it's not necessarily the most harmonious aspect that's pulling this together. And this is when you got to watch this place. And so, you may, it seems passionate at first on the surface and shit, but it's energy that's coming to you while under the disguise of a conflict. And it's not showing conflict because the energy is fresh and I just met you and you look good, right? And so for me, for example, like I'm super duper Aquarius, right? I got Mars at 5 degrees, Mercury at 8, and the moon at 10, and the sun at 27. And so this energy that you have, Mars and Aquarius, we both have Mars and Aquarius. So you're having a Mars return. But see, now this is interesting because for you, you were born with Mars Venus opposition. So the male female dynamic is at odds with one another when you were born. So now there's something within inside of yourself. So if I tell you like, hey, Naya, listen, check game, you're gonna be in an argument next month. You know what I'm saying? In September when Mars go direct in the relationship and that shit happen. I'm looking at you. I ain't looking at your man. I ain't looking at your energy. Even if I tell you, whatever's gonna happen, I'm looking at you. So obviously the question you're gonna have to ask is, well, shit, this shit happened to me. If it happened to me and they said it was gonna happen to me, then what the hell am I exuding out to make this person pick me out of all people to pick on me and do XYZ to me? You must be emitting some type of cellular energy in order for the other person to come in your life to play that part. That's the shit that we don't want to deal with. You see what I'm saying? And so you gotta fix or balance that energy within inside of yourself. You see what I'm saying? And so you need the polar opposite energy Aquarius to a degree to balance that out, to test you in a sense, to bounce that Leo energy off and whatnot, so that energy don't be a conflicting energy and whatnot. And so you have to, if you've been in because Mars gives us insight into what the woman is looking for in the man, like Venus gives us insight what the man is looking for in the woman. And so we have to determine, okay, what has been your points of conflicts before in the past? You know what I'm saying? As it pertains to masculine energy and relationships, it ain't possibly really rework those mentally so we can reclassify those particular memories and those energies that you have within yourself, because the chart is a reflection of your own law of attraction. That's you we looking at. You see what I'm saying? And so you got to balance that for sure, but it's not a bad thing and whatnot. And where I was going with that is, you know, that opposition, because opposition represents conflict. You see what I'm saying? They oppose one another. And so the key to it is there needs to be something in the middle, because cosmically speaking, go back to the wall clock rendition. The sun is in the middle of the wall clock with the little peg that holds the two hands together. That's the sun. When you're in opposition, the earth is at 12 o'clock, and what you think is at 6 o'clock, or what's going on, what you think you see, the sun will be in 6. If you're at 12 o'clock, the sun would appear to be at 6 o'clock, because in your world, you at the 12 o'clock position and you can only see straight ahead in front of you. And if the sun is in front of you, then that means the sun appears to be in front of 6 o'clock. That's what I mean when I give this type of analogy. If we can make the center point where the sun is the goal, instead of clashing to each other, and we can say this is the goal right here, you see what I'm saying? Then we can meet right there in harmony, and we don't have to. The problem is we don't have no goals, and that's what creates conflicts. That's just straight up the truth. We don't have goals, and that creates conflict, let alone big enough goals to busy ourselves in. If we had goals, we'd be so busy producing that we wouldn't even have time for conflict. The reason we got conflict is because we don't got no goddamn goals, and we got too much time on our hand. Because if you're busy producing towards the goal, what are you arguing about? What are you fighting about? What's the conflict about? There isn't none. I'm too goddamn exhausted, and we gave each other a high five because we're on the same page towards the goal. Problem is we don't have no goals, and that's creating a problem. All right. So we got to work that. Venus 22 Pisces, Kahari, artistic. Venus is exalted in Pisces. So artistic, musical. Be careful if it got what we call harsh aspects to it, because this could denote secret enemies, women who deceive you, or you deceive people in relationships, or they deceive you. Energy is a two-way street, and just can't put it on them. So deception in relationships could be likely because of the Piscean nature. But at the core, this is your meditation buddy. This is a partnership that you are really yearning for spiritual fulfillment, because Pisces is spiritual fulfillment. People who you can imagine things together, you listen to music together, something along those vibes where you two can meditate together. You pray together. You have no problem breaking out the two prayer rugs and getting down and sitting back to back and breathing with each other and literally becoming one, and making sure that y'all have a spiritual cord with one another. That's Venus and Pisces. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. All right. Oh, word. It's your son's birthday. Mars and Leo in the first 6 degrees. Mars and Leo is it's a lot of fire, man. A lot of that could be very domineering. Very domineering. Very domineering. Yeah. I just don't know this stuff. I don't want to mess your name up, Miss Bay, without knowing how to do that. But yeah, that's on myastrologycoach.com. It's a consultation tab that's there, and we can. It's done on the on my conference line where it's recorded, and we had this conversation. You know what I mean? Anything you want to get into the progressions. Most importantly, man, is what's a goal of yours, man? Like, what's a goal, and can we deal with a timeline when that goal is likely to manifest? And then doing some visualization work to aid you in your physical endeavors on you carrying out your goal, working towards your goal to make that goal manifest. That's the fun part. You know what I mean? So that's fun for me. Like, what's your goal? I don't like to do general readings. It's boring to me. Like, what's a goal? And can we construct visualization and that corresponds with planetary energy and timelines to help you manifest what you want. That's dope. So if any of you get a consultation, have a goal. Do not call me for a general reading, because you can find that shit on the internet, man. You know what I mean? I'm not supposed to say that, but I don't want to do general readings. I'm not a general person. You're not general. Be great. What is your goal? I want to help you get to your greatest self in any area of life that we can see with the science, which is everything. So how do you get there? Mars in North Node and Pisces in the 11th. Well, Mars in the North Node is going to put fire and ambition for you to fulfill your soul's mission. Pisces is spirituality and mysticism, potentially as music as well. The 11th house is friends, but your friends can be your secret enemies. Mars is combative, so you can fight your friends, and Pisces is secret enemy. So therefore, you got to really watch your friends carefully, real careful here. But your friends can also serve as some type of catalyst to help you unlock what your soul's mission is. This also could be some type of spiritual foundation or some type of institution that gives back to humanity, like the Red Cross or something. And you're very ambitious about this nonprofit organization that helps people. And so that could definitely be one of those markers as well. You know what I'm saying? What up, Quality High Records? What's good, man? You know? All right. So we take it up to 9 minutes, man. We do 2 hours on this thing. Unless you got some questions, we with family. We can chitty chat all day. So what you got for me? What you got for me? What you got? Bring it. All right. So what would you look first on a natal chart, man? So because you got to understand glyphs, because it's gonna give it to you in symbols, man. I would say I created the self-activation workbook on my astrology coach. I would start there, because the workbook was literally designed for you to understand planetary glyphs, understand the energy. And then the last section of the book is your planets and houses. You have to write a sentence based upon what you see of your own energy. So I got Saturn and Leo. So you have to write a keyword for Saturn, and you have to write a keyword for Leo. You got to write a keyword for the house. So I got Saturn and Leo in the second house. So let's just say I think that is, I am successful. That's Saturn, successful. When I am being creative, creative is a keyword for Leo, with finances. Finances is a keyword for the second house. I am responsible, keyword for Saturn is responsible. When I am being taking charge or being a leader or being creative, all keywords for Leo, with my finances, a keyword for the second house. So the book is designed to introduce you to the basics of the energy. And then the very last portion, you must write about yourself. That's why it's called self-activation. So if you're really new to it and you can't spit your specs and don't know what it means off the top of your dome, I can go through every planet for me and tell you exactly where it's at. I would start right there, myastrologycoach.com, self-activation workbook. I'm on iTunes and all digital media outlets. Planets in Harmony. It's by the Inner Peace Lighthouse. The Zodiac Made Easy is also by the Inner Peace Lighthouse. Those are 2 digital things that I put out a few years ago that are on all digital media outlets. Those 2 things. So you can go to your iTunes and stuff like that, and you can get that now. Planets in Harmony and Zodiac Made Easy. Right. All right. Jupiter 5 degrees Aqua. Oh man, I got Mars at 5 Aqua, man. When Jupiter aligns with Mars, that's what that song say. The fifth dimension, the age of Aquarius, says when Jupiter aligns with Mars, it's going to be this golden age is going to usher in. Sankofa John. John is the name of my last 2 contractors. Too. I gotta do something with John. So what you say? Shooting one last shot of the E. What? Jupiter in Aquarius? Hey man, Jupiter in Aquarius, man, is dope, man. That's shit. That's a lot of friends, big friends. My friends drive Benzes. That's big friends. That's friends, man, in a big way. Big humanitarian, big lover of groups and social advocate. Jupiter is the truth. You know what I mean? So this is lucky with groups of people, lucky with technology even. You expand through Aquarius. So Aquarius is technology, groups of people, humanitarian efforts. This is your expansion point when you're involved in that, man. I got Mars right there, man. So roll with us, bro. Roll with us and we can get you there. Because I got Mars at 5 degrees Aquarius, exactly to the degree. So we clicking on something. Jupiter square Venus. That still can be luck. Jupiter and Venus still can be luck. Jupiter wants the abundance and the overflow. Luck. Venus is the money. Relationships. The square with Jupiter could represent overabundant. Are you doing it too much? It's an overflow. So it's not necessarily a bad thing here because you still can win. So you just got to make sure you're not overindulging in certain things. Venus is fine foods and arts and shit. Jupiter wants to give so much. So you just got to make sure that you're not overdoing it when you're dealing with this particular energy, man. What's up? So that still can be very lucky because they're still in communication with each other and whatnot. I still seen people on this placement hit lotteries and scratch offs and shit. And so it's still lucky because they still talking to each other. You know what I'm saying? Copper, silver is the moon. Sun is gold. Copper might be Mercury. Saturn is lead. Jupiter is tin. It ain't Uranus and all them. So copper is Venus. Copper is Venus and silver is the moon. Silver bullet, full moon, werewolf thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that is. Sun is gold. Yeah, copper is definitely Venus for sure. All right. Sun, Taurus, square Mars and Aquarius, but Mars trines Venus and Gemini, man. All right. So the masculine principle, Sun and Mars are at odds with one another. They ain't bad. You know what I mean? That could be ego trips. Something dealing with dad. There's something dealing with masculine energy, period. So you just got to kind of watch males in particular. You know what I mean? It's probably hard for you to bridge friends, Aquarius, and money, Taurus. So you probably got to be careful with that, especially when you're dealing with masculine people in that arena of friends and money. So those two things seem to possibly be a conflict. But trining off in that Gemini, Mars to Venus, I'm assuming. That's pretty good, where it's just great communication and whatnot. So I would just go back to that square and look at what are the masculine energies that you have that need to be corrected as it pertains to friends. And as long as you potentially can put yourself inside of a bigger group that's doing better than you, in the sense where that ambition of Mars can kick in, you know what I mean? Because Aquarius is social groups. Then you need to be the dumbest person in the room and the one with the lowest money with the Taurus, so that square don't pop up, and then you can go after bigger fish in a sense and whatnot, because it definitely could represent a conflict with male friends and money for sure. All right. Oh, okay. Beyonce closed her show in copper. Dope. What she on? She on that Venetian thing. So copper is the metal that they use today, the most abundant metal to convey electricity. You know what I mean? So it's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. Any tips for Pluto and Uranus in the second house? A GoFundMe. All right, Pluto and Uranus in the second house. Girl, Pluto and Uranus in the second house. What sign is this in again? Pluto and Uranus in the second house. Do you got this? Let me see. What generation are you? Where is Pluto in Uranus? It's either in Libra or Scorpio. Where you at? Which one is it? Because what I think I'm about to tell you, Levon, you already know. What sign is that? Uranus in Pluto conjunction. Yeah, I got Saturn in the second too. Saturn in the second is a billionaire marking. It twisted. Saturn in Taurus is Puffy and Jay-Z. So Saturn in the second house could be the same thing. The same thing. You said Venus in the second house is with financial stuff, man. I've been struggling. I don't know how, but I just end up halfway broke when I get to close a goal. All right. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. I'm gonna address that. I'm gonna address that, Randy. Levon, I need to know Pluto in your location, what zodiac sign that is, because we're gonna get to this GoFundMe thing. All right, so Randy, you said Venus in the second house is with financial stuff. Yes. I've been struggling. I don't know, but I just end up halfway broke when I get close to a goal. One, you got to overplan. It's the purpose of what we call the 10x rule. If you want 100, you need to aim for 1,000 so you can land at your target. Oftentimes, we set the target, and that's the real target, and you need to overshoot so you can automatically land at your desired goal. Wherever your goal is, you need to times it by 10 so you can get to that desired goal. That's one. Two, it depends what business you're in a sense. But closing deals and everything is a sale. I got to convince this woman to go out on a date with me. I got to convince you why you should give me your money so I can put it in. Let's do some business. Loan me some money because we're not in, not an investment thing like that. But loan me some money because you can do that. We could do a contract and I'm going to go buy a house and flip a house and make you a partner of it. And then I bring you your money back and in return on your money. I got to convince you. My point is everything is a sale. So when it comes to our goals and obtaining shit, that means that you're going to have to do some things. You're going to have to close deals in order to get to your goal. That's the truth. If you want a new car, you're going to have to stack some money. If you're making money, then either A, is cool and it's all right, the amount of money that you have and you stacking it, or you're going to have to create something new to get it. Now, if you create something new, you're going to have to convince me to give you the job. Where's this new money coming from? Either A, you selling me something, whether you selling me dope or whether you selling me a product, I'm going to have to be convinced that this product works. Or if you're filling out an application, you're going to have to sell me on why you're the best candidate and I should hire you. It's called the interview process. So everything is a sell. So if everything is a sell, then we need to know how to close the deal. That's very important, closing the deal. All right. And so the goal could be it's not big enough and you're missing the target. You're not as committed to it. That could be another thing right there. Or you don't know how to close the deal. That could be another thing. And so the best thing to do is to overshoot 10 times. You got to go 10 times your goal. You got to. When you get into this email marketing thing, that if you want 100 people to open something, you better send it to 1,000 because it's going to be a 10% rule. Some people sign up because they're just curious. Some people are really serious. Everybody that sign up, do it. I mean, listen, free webinar, pack the motherfucking house. All right, here come the upsell. Pay this, and so we can go further and we can really get it going. You're gonna see a decrease. It's just not going to be 100% conversion. It's just not. So in order for you to hit your target, you got to make your target bigger. In order for you to close the deal, you got to learn certain skills to close the deal. If you're into sales, even if you're not into sales, everybody need to get this. Maybe I need to, I'm going to sign in. I'm going to sign in and I'm going to give y'all something. Give me a second. I'm going to go get it. Let me go get it. Let me go get it. Let me go get it. I'm going to give you some good stuff in a second. So let me sign into my account real fast. Where is it? Right here. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to sign into my account. I'm going to give you something really, really, really good. All right. Hold on. Let me go get it. Please take me there. Take me there. This should be it right here, right? Let me see. Bam. Let me see. Hold on, I'm getting. Hold on, I'm creating a link that I'm gonna give you something for. Where is it at? It's right here. All right, I'm about to come into the chat and give it to y'all. Hit that link. Anybody that's into sales, and I think everything is a sale, as I just explained, you need to get that survival, the closes survivor manual, because you're gonna hear all kind of shit, all kind of objections and whatnot. And I'm telling you, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're not gonna get around sales if you're an entrepreneur. You need to learn this information as it deals with sales. All right. So click on that link and get that. In fact, let me see if I can find that's the physical book. Let me see if I can find the actual audio version of it. Because it's super duper 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 dope. And I got the audio version of it. Where is that at? Here it is, right here. Oops. Hold on, I'm gonna give y'all the audio version of it. I got this on my desk. I got this like literally right now. And I listen to this thing. You know, it's really good. Super duper good. All right. And so here go the audio version of it in the chat. All right. And so rock with those, because that's going to help you if you're experiencing objections. This is going to give you a lot of tools to overcome the objection, because people lie. The person got interest in it. That's why they're there in the first place. And then they're like, oh, well, I got to check with my wife. Okay, you got to check with your wife. How do you overcome that? Well, in the budget. You know, yes, it is. So you're like, how do you overcome that? So you want to start learning this information as well, because this deals with Venus. Venus is the deal. It's partnerships. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to understand that. Levon, what was that? That was in Libra relationships. So you're that generation in relationships. All right, so Libra. All right, so that puts you before me. But it's Libra. And you see, this is the thing that you got to ask yourself, though, right? So it's relationships, GoFundMe. I don't think it's GoFundMe is the tech portal for that. When I'm going to go with this is a little different. You got to think outside of the box here. I'm going to let you use your imagination on it. Uranus wants you to think outside of the box as it pertains to relationships. Uranus is technology. That's why you think in GoFundMe, right? Let me just tell you. Let me just. Oh, shit! I gotta say it, man. I don't want to say it, but it's a possibility. And you gotta consider it, right? So we had this conversation earlier that you got this unique sexual energy. You are the classic webcam sex girl. Okay. I just gotta tell you, because Uranus is technology, Pluto is sex, second house is money. You see what I'm saying? And so this weirdness that you have, man, it could work. That's all I'm saying. It could work. We gotta look at it in totality though to see where the energy could be honed in at if it's suggesting something else. All right. But it can work. Your GoFundMe can work because it's Uranus in the second house. Yeah, I'm not going to deny you. It could work. All right. I ain't messing with you no more, Levon. I'm done with you. All right. King's Chamber, Pluto opposite Sun, and Jupiter. Pluto opposite Sun and Jupiter. Taurus, Sun, and Jupiter both in the first and Scorpio. All right, so shit, man. Pluto in the seventh, opposition your Sun and Jupiter denotes that it could be a very power struggle inside of relationships because Pluto in the seventh also represents powerful, controlling, manipulative relationships. Pluto is the end, so probably you definitely going to experience a divorce at some point in time. Potentially. It really needs to be a very powerful union that gives you a butterfly effect and health, and hopefully the Pluto is an inner transformation that took place within inside of yourself, like Gucci Man. So what we saw Gucci do was we saw him go through Fat Boy sipping syrup and go through incarceration through the whole classic, Detroit Red Malcolm X shit, and then come out a better, slimmer person, more conscientious on health, appearance and lifestyle, and honor and of that of the female counterpart that definitely paved the way to help him get there, Miss Keisha Kayor. All right. And so the opposition could represent definitely power struggles and conflicts and whatnot. However, again, you just want to use it as a metamorphosis to get you to become the beautiful butterfly that you are, brethren. All right. So it's a very powerful union. But how that transformation takes place is to be determined. Jupiter and Sun together are very good. These are considered the most active, beneficent planets within the solar system. You know what I'm saying? So Jupiter is good. It's abundance. It's the flow. It's all things luck and things like that. The Sun is this bright life and life force giver. So if you got those two close together, that's very darn good, man. Very darn good. And the fact that you can have them inside of Taurus, this means that you could accumulate a nice amount of money. In opposition to Pluto in the seventh, you have the classic chart that suggests you need to have a prenup. Yeah, you need a prenuptial agreement because you need to understand that, Sun and Jupiter and Taurus, man, that's fucking $1 billion, man. You set your mind on that shit, you can get a lot of money, but it's clearly saying there's going to be a fight and a struggle in the relationship. And so then, therefore, your relationships needs to be on the same freaking accord, and you need to have the right safety measures in place that don't cripple your success. That's how I see that, man. And so, the Prime Minister chimed in. The visualization actually activates the motor cortex. It is the acting factor. You'll move, the others will move to help you unfold your goals, both consciously and unconsciously. So, yeah. So Pluto and opposite Sun and Jupe. Yeah, man. So can you explain if the planetary energy is set as a birth chart? Can we override it with our minds? It's a good question. Can we override it with our minds? Yes and no. Just because, see, this is why I say, what you're saying is, what do you want to override? You want to override negative energy. So when you override negative energy and you exist within the positive polarity, there go your yes. because you didn't experience the negative. But there goes your no, because you experienced the positive within the same thing. So life is like this battery terminal, positive and negative. Each energy has them. Versus you experiencing anger, which is Mars, you experience tremendous passion. And today was ambitious and sweaty and good because you exuded physical effort into something. You never got outside of Mars, so there go the no, but you didn't experience the negative that you want to experience, so there go the yes. So yes and no. Activate the other side of the, because you got to remember, this is a system. Everything is related. So are we really getting outside of the system? We're not getting outside of the system. What we're doing is we're negating the fact that we don't have to have the negative experience. So I know exactly what you're saying. So that's why I say yes and no. Yeah. So when you manifest a different reality, I guarantee you that reality is just going to be the, what I will call the opposite end of the spectrum. Guaranteed. And even if you're not playing within that same pocket, see, this is why I call this, in this work, I call it the twin paradox. Within the twin paradox, identical twins, and I got cousins, a few of them, literally a few of them that are identical twins. They have different lifestyles, different successes, right? So within the twin paradox, you'd be like, wait a minute, how is this even true? They twins and they are born just minutes apart. Same goddamn birth chart, but different outcomes. Planetary energies represent options of your own imagination, your own, within yourself. One of them decides to do XYZ and the other one decides to do XYZ. You can see both options in the chart. It's just this one decided to live within this particular band and the other one choose to live within the other particular band. Both are there. So it don't mean that it's not true. They're exercising their chart. A classic example would be when you look at your chart, the 6th house is your day-to-day work. It's your job. But the 10th house is your career. They're not the same. They're synonymous. They get along with one another, but they're not the exact same thing. So oftentimes, a lot of people are in one and not in the other. You see what I'm saying? So one person could have both twins. One can have a tremendous amount of financial energy, and they also have a tremendous amount of relationship energy. One twin can say, you know what? I'm fucking with this money. I'm on my shit. The other twin is stuck in the realm of relationships. So it's an option that's there. So even when you create in a different reality, everything within creation can be defined. Every single career, every single experience is going to be defined within the zodiacal aspect of this wheel of 12. Every single one. Everyone. Okay. So we're just exercising a different option. So yeah, you can do that all day. Yep. We're having Mercury in Gemini in the 2nd. That's the money mind. Trying the moon and Cap. That's the woman that's on her shit. In the 10th house on her shit. Denote possible success in real estate. Hell yeah. Especially if it's a woman. Nigga, you better go find Keisha Kayor. What you waiting on? Mercury in Gemini? What? That's at home. My mind is sharp. 2nd house. I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Trying the moon and Cap. The moon is a woman and Capricorn is success and the 10th house is success. Does that denote possible real success in real estate? What? The moon rules real estate because it's the 4th house and home. It's a woman that's getting that shit. Nigga, we already know who she is. For real. She looking for love. She's been having the most bad luck and sorriest ass relationships ever. Nigga, yes, absolutely. For real. You better go find your Keisha Kayor, nigga. ASAP. Shit. And for real, got a real estate friend. That's a Capricorn too. Hey, she a Capricorn and she in the real estate and she got some horrible luck with niggas and but her business game is impeccable. Man, we're gonna do a singles retreat. Y'all want to do some zodiac love, matchmaking and shit? That's what we're working on. That's gonna show you what's up. But yeah, answer your question. Yes, emphatically yes. You know what I mean? All right. Yeah, that's what's up. That can work. It's playing on that cap energy for sure. All right, man. I'm about to get ready to wrap up on y'all. I roll with y'all 2 hours and 30 minutes. These things be long. We shooting the breeze, but give it to me, man. You got something? What you got? What you got? Give me some questions. Today's topic: Venus, rhythm. You can foretell rhythm. I gotta work on my PowerPoint, man. We got a show tomorrow, a webinar. That private webinars tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Programming the Matrix. All right, gonna show you some cool stuff, man. Y'all already know what time it is, so just make sure you get there. Programming the Matrix, and don't come at the last minute, because 10 minutes before showtime, it will not be available. I'm not going to be getting ready and have to send you an email to try to get you in there. That's not happening. It's going to be out of stock. And all red, it's going to say stop procrastinating in your life when you try to go in the last 10 minutes to sign up. So sign up now, coming over, programming the Matrix. You see numbers. There's some things that you see, a number that you keep seeing. Why are you seeing it? I'm going to show you a dope book to have to understand the differential states of consciousness. Most importantly, I'm going to show you how we collectively was doing something on a certain number, and then these events kept occurring on that date to reflect the number we was putting the work in on. We program the matrix, and you can do this because your thoughts create reality. Just want to show you how to look at the second law, known as the law of correspondence. Okay, you need to understand that, because it's going to come through a sign. It always come through a sign, man, and we got to understand signs. So if you got a question, give it to me. Let me know what you got. Let me know what you're working with. What? You lying. What kind of retrograde shit is that, Jew? 2014. Oh, Miss PJ, you are. I ain't never seen that. I ain't messing with no avion. You tripping. All right, so what you got for me? Y'all good? All right, so look, man, listen. The law of rhythm. You got it? Suck up with John. Oh, yeah. So I talked about Venus and Virgo today. So Venus and Virgo, I love it, because Venus and Virgo is going to be talking about this love and harmony that you feel as it pertains to your work. So your work has to be fulfilling. It has to bring you balance and harmony and whatnot. And you did in your love life, you're kind of looking for a woman that has a mirroring strong worth ethnic. So you probably got a thing for Beyonce low key, because that's the Virgo energy, and your Venus is there, so that's going to be activated. So you want to look for love and work, man. These two things need to go hand in hand, and it's okay here, because usually we work for the money, and then Venus, when it rules Taurus, represents the money. So now your money, and Venus represents the woman and beauty and females. The money becomes your honey, and it just bam. You know what I mean? So you got to work it, man. These two, work and money and honey, all flow together, man. Real beautiful. All right. Yeah. Come through, man. Come through if you've been following. If you've been following, come through, man. Come through while it's still available. I'm trying to transition into some other things. So definitely come through. So listen, man, let today's big takeaway be this. If you missed the earlier part, please understand. I'm gonna answer that question, Louise. Please understand that rhythm is very serious. Very serious. Let me answer Louise's question. We're gonna close out. So I'm a Capricorn woman, Sagittarius man, has a business. Can we work well together? That's a very general question, Louise, because if he's born, well, let's just say with energy and Virgo, that can agitate the hell out of you, or Pisces, that can agitate the hell out of you. But to answer your question generally, from Sagittarius to Capricorn, you guys are neighbors. So it's Sagittarius, the ninth sign, Capricorn is the 10th sign. So y'all being neighbors, y'all can potentially see reality very similar. Given the laws of motion dealing with Mercury, the position of Mercury deals with how we think, how we see things. Then Mercury is always close to the sun. And it's a very strong chance that both of you guys, Mercury is guaranteed, are not in conflict with one another. In fact, they may be in harmony with one another. So now this will represent a meeting of the minds. All right, this is just giving the general knowledge of the law. Okay. And so absolutely this could work. It definitely could work, but I would have to see it in totality to make sure that there ain't no energy. One of you don't have energy on the other side that's in opposition or squaring your energy that's causing some potential friction. Okay. But the general standard rule of Capricorn and Sag being next to each other, learning the laws of Mercury, even understanding the law of Venus, these things definitely be in harmony. Anything that's Mars and backwards, we have to look at because of the year of you guys' birth. If not the same, it's going to these planets. Anything past Earth is going to be totally different positions that can cause points of friction. But Mercury and Venus, 9 times out of 10, are not going to be in strenuous positions to each other. Okay. So I have to be able to see it in totality. But yes, ma'am, it could work. You guys are cosmic neighbors and y'all ain't set tripping. Ain't nobody from the other side. Y'all next door to each other. So hold each other's hand and get focused. All right. If y'all really want it, I see you talking like you want it, but come on, man, come through. Come through the mentoring program over there on my Astrology Coach shop tab. All right. So look, listen, let the takeaway be this, y'all. Every action that we do, good or bad, creates an effect. It's energy. Energy is exuded out from our beings. If I wave my hand, I just sent the ripple effect out. Each action creates a cause, and the action is the cause. Okay. This cause is going out and is being recorded in space. Okay. When similar planetary alignments come to the exact region of space or mirror the alignment of your initial action, the cause is reverberated back into our reality as an effect, and thus an event takes place. Since there is a time lapse called, oh shit, I did that a year ago, 10 years ago, previous lifetime, we're ignorant of the fact of what is causing it. Okay. Let us take away that our relationships, Venus, the planet, the principle that deals with money and love is the same thing. Let us take away the fact that this energy represents cooperation and victory, which means success. If we leave negative boo-boos in space called arguments, fights, and quarrels, you should, at the very least, I am telling you this shit, you need to mark your calendar and just put a red mark on it because you was tested that day and you fell short. That's just that day. Okay. You should try your best to immediately rectify the situation. Leave them cats alone. They ain't bothering you. Stop. All right. And so you should immediately try to rectify the problem. He ain't gonna let up. Immediately try to rectify that problem. Because I'm telling you what's gonna happen. It's gonna come back. I promise you it does. Okay. Make it a point to study this information where you can get to the point of where you can make a forecast. This is very, very, very great for the evolution of your own consciousness. Because once you can make a forecast, like I can tell, who was that we was in here building with Naya, right? Davina was like, okay, shit, girl, Mars is retrograde in Cap. It's about to come back in Aquarius. You're going to have a Mars return. It's going to be opposite your Venus. If you're in a relationship, September, October, but primarily September, you're going to be tested in your relationship because it's going to be Mars opposite Venus. Guaranteed. All right. It's going to happen. You're going to be tested. So since you know how to forecast when your troubles are likely to surface, it is up to you within that timeline to play the game of alchemy to say, hey, babe, we're about to go out on a date tonight. Babe, don't know this. It's totally unexpected. Sometimes you can't say it because I'm telling you, if you say it beforehand, some shit can just happen and it'd be like, no, I don't want to. I got something else that I got to do. So you may have to be total Uranus and spontaneous with this shit. And it's like, hey, come home. Hey, you don't know this, but I got reservations and we about to go boom, boom, boom. Or you just want to switch it up and come home with flowers, whatever. Because Venus is the beauty in aesthetics. It loves things that are nice. Nice is and good is opposite ugly and non-nice and drama. And so when you learn how to forecast this, there's no way in hell that we should know what this law is, and then we should succumb to the negative influences of these things. It happens, it's okay, but then we need to be honest and understand that at this particular point, it got me, and I'm forever a student of this thing, and I'm not yet master. And master is just a title. You know what I'm saying? Don't really mean nothing, because even masters get tested, okay? And so we have to be very, very conscientious, and we can get ahead of this thing by understanding the seasons. It's kind of like the people who know the weather. That's pretty damn cool. Hey, Tuesday is going to be 63 and it's going to rain, and Tuesday coming is 63 and it start damn raining. Like, that's some cool ass shit. We got the ability to predict weather as humanity at this point. So if humanity can do that, and it can, then we have the ability with this science to go up in the future to be able to predict our good times and our bad times. And it's up to us to change the polarity of the bad time. Because once we change the polarity once and can keep doing it and doing it again and reinforcing it with that DJ Khaled, we the best, happiness, the sun is shining on me. Love, 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 love. I love you, Assad. I love you. I love you. I love you. Constantly reinforcing it, reinforcing it, reinforcing it. That's one good thing, another good thing, another good thing, another good thing. And next thing you know, let's look at DJ Khaled. I'm telling you, this nigga is the perfect example of this. There's so many years of positive energy that's marked in space that within our things that we ever saw, in a sense, was shit. He got a little chewed up when he was on the jet ski going the back route to Puff's house, and he got off that jet ski and looked like Jaws bit his leg when that tree in the water got him. You know what I mean? But for the most part, man, the goal is to circulate positive energy within these pockets so you can change the rhythm of what's going on. All right, for real. All right, so let that be the takeaway. How do you get to this particular point? Two things. The first way is to study yourself. When they said, man, know thyself, they're talking about know your inclinations, know your strengths, know your weakness, know you. What, everybody's different. Know you. What is you? I know me, and there's a part of me that I have suppressed for freaking mad long, right? I had to let the cat out the bag finally. I want to be in an open relationship. Oh shit, don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot. I want to be in an open relationship, traditional relationship. The way I process shit is different. I don't know if I got it from my dad, whatever. I ain't blaming shit. I process shit different. So when I see certain things, I ain't gonna lie, I process shit a certain way. That's me, right? That's me. So you gotta be trill with yourself. You gotta be, because it starts with self. It's ain't about nobody else. The relationship is a mirror of your choice. Because I have to I have to agree to be in a goddamn relationship. So at some point in time, you're a mirror of my choice of me saying, yeah, I want you. Okay? It's ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. This is you. So then I understand me, my choices, what's going forth. Now I know that I'm setting rhythm and a cadence. So know yourself. Self-activation workbook, myastrologycoach.com. This is your cosmic self. It is a fact, Jack. I don't care what you're dealing with. Even Yogananda, a great master, his master teacher, Sri Yukteswar, told him, if you get the autobiography of a yogi and the chapter Outwitting the Stars, he told him, Mukunda, do you have an astrological bangle? No, sir, I don't have an astrological bangle. Why would I do that? I am God. Everything is me. I don't believe in that. It don't matter if you believe in it or not. The planet's about to take a turn, would suggest it's going to be some shit inside of you where you're going to get ill. If you go get this certain metal, we can negate this shit. And thus it was negated by a few months, but he still went through it. You can't get outside of a system because you are it. That's the illusion. You think you can get outside? How you going to get outside of the goddamn sun shining on you? Please tell me that shit. Because the moment that you figure out that the sun ain't gonna shine on you unless you walking down the street with a fucking mirror on all you in a box, and the box is the mirror, and that shit is reflecting, like, stop it. You're not getting outside of a system. You and the system are ecod, is one. What you do want is, hey, I don't want to have X amount of experiences. I'm to the point where I want to have this frequency of the experience, because there's a choice within every single planetary body and zodiac sign. All of them have extreme negatives. All of them have extreme positives. Okay. So you become the risen Lord when you understand these options and you stop falling for the trick of duality. So you know yourself, with majority of your energy is at for you. I'm majority air and fire. So I like fiery, airy type of conversations, dialogue, my nature, women as well. That's me. Okay. So once you know the elemental constitution of yourself, you're there. Now you can start learning the laws of, well, how can I foretell the time in the future? That's the mentorship, where it's like, okay, let me learn how to look up. Let me learn how to go back in the past and look at shit. Let me start just growing from my base knowledge onto a little bit more deeper of how I can go up and I can advance. myastrologycoach.com, shop tab. Go to the book, and or you're ready, come into the mentor program and be serious. Now, here's the thing. I give you free access to all my webinars while you within this mentorship. And I'm not going to hound you. It's 9 months. I'm not about to stalk you. You signed up. I give you assignment. You're going to have to come back. I'm not about to sweat you to turn it in. I'm not doing that. I'm going to uphold my part. I'm ready. I say do this. Go ahead and do it. If you don't come back with it, that's on you. You wasn't ready. I'm saying that happens. All right. So signing out, Saturn and Pluto, Jupiter, that 2020 thing is very, very transformational. The fall of the government of the USA could happen. You better not hope that happens. That re-election of Donald Trump, or that 2020 election, 2020, it's been noted when Saturn and Pluto are together, civilizations fall down. They all come tumbling down. But the good thing is this: the United States is on a whole nother rhythm of positive vibes. it takes Saturn 28 years to go full circle. But this it happens. Civilizations fall when this Saturn Pluto alignment happens. It's gonna happen in Capricorn, which is government. And this is definitely the potential to 2020 where the world changes and you see Oprah, you see Kanye West, you see something different. The great Donald Trump is just a precursor to the grand awakening that is yet to come. The beautiful thing is this: we get to decide what that is going to be. All right. So very, very transformational at the very least. For some reason, I want to see Ellen DeGeneres somewhere in office for some reason. But anyway, it's just going to be very interesting. But yes, it is. You can just go to My Astrology Coach. What is it? Shop tab, and it may be right there. Just take your time. If you got to call me too. It's absolutely right there. I was going to tell y'all something. Oh, damn it. I was really about to tell y'all something. Was it based off that point that you just made with that? Go to let me walk you through that thing. So let me go over here, man. Let me have to find out. I gotta clean this up. So if you're at myastrologycoach.com, right? Let me see what we got going on over here. myastrologycoach.com. Stop playing. Highlight that shop tab. When you highlight that shop tab, there's something that says coaching is right there. That's there. And then also when you highlight that shop tab as well, you see classes. All right. So you can go to the coaching and you can go to classes. So highlight the shop tab. It's going to be a drop down menu. And then you can go to the coaching and you can go to the classes as well. That mentoring program is actually under classes. I'm going to put it under coaching right now. Matter of fact. All right. So that's available to you and whatnot. And also give me a call too, because I want to make sure that we fit. You good. I know your energy. We the same. So you straight. Miss Naya Divine, I want you. You got something in Aquarius. Come on. Let's go. Because you would get it easy. You'll be able to articulate it and understand it. So it shouldn't be no problem and whatnot. All right. Very welcome. All right. So that's it. Signing off, man. You guys are the masters of your destiny. You're the master of your rhythm. I want you to please understand it. And tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, I am on a webinar. It's only $45. That is the members price. Normally, our webinars are $75 for the general public. We want you to understand some great things. I'm going to show you some shit. You want to talk about is magic real? Is thoughts real? I'm going to show you some shit from experience. Ain't got nothing to do with textbooks. Fuck that. I don't get into that shit. I don't care nothing about no textbook. I'm talking about why we go to Stone Mountain and y'all see clouds and we made the clouds disappear and we purposely made them disappear and people can testify. I was there. These niggas made the clouds disappear. The before and after pictures and all the shit. I'm going to show you the law of correspondence like you ain't never seen it. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern is going to be right there. You get to that myastrologycoach.com on the front page, Programming the Matrix, sign up right now. You got a question or comment, man, you really feel like you need me, holla at me, man. I'm available. All right. Peace.